Welcome back to the channel where we uncover rare coins, hidden treasures, and the stories behind everyday money that could be worth a fortune. Rarest coins. Today, we're diving into a coin that many people have seen, held, or even spent without thinking twice. The 1962 D. Lincoln penny. But here's the surprise. While most 1962 D pennies are only worth 1 cent, there are rare versions and mint errors that are so valuable collectors and dealers have paid tens of thousands. And in one mysterious case, there's talk of a unique specimen valued at an astonishing $1.8 million. You heard that right. 1 penny. 1 cent possibly worth nearly $2 million. How is that possible? What makes this humble 1962 D penny so special? And how can you tell if you have the $1 million version in your collection? Let's break it all down. First, let's go back in time for a little history. The Lincoln cent, or Lincoln penny, was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was a major design shift in U.S. coinage. For the first time ever, a real historical figure was featured on a circulating American coin. From 1909 until 1958, the reverse of the coin featured two wheat ears. This is what collectors call the wheat penny. In 1959, to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial. So technically, the 1962 D penny does not have the wheat reverse. It has the Lincoln Memorial design. But even though the wheat design ended in 1958, many collectors still refer to all Lincoln pennies before the mid-60s as wheat cents or wheat penny era coins. So when people talk about the 1962 D wheat penny, they usually mean a Lincoln cent from the era when coins were still made of solid copper and carried strong collectible interest. Now, the 1962 D penny was minted in Denver, as shown by the small letter D under the date. The Denver Mint produced over 1.7 billion of these pennies that year. That's right, billion with a B. So at first glance, it's one of the most common coins in American history. But here's where things get interesting. Even among billions of coins, mistakes happen. And when mistakes happen at the U.S. Mint, collectors pay attention. In rare cases, these errors make certain coins one of a kind. And when that happens, the value can skyrocket. What kind of rare 1962 D penny could possibly be worth over $1 million? The answer lies in mint errors, misstrikes, and the possibility of a unique off-metal error. A 1962 D Lincoln penny struck on a gold planchet or another experimental metal that was never meant for circulation. While this coin has never been officially confirmed by the U.S. Mint, there have been rumors and whispers in the numismatic community about a 1962 D Lincoln cent that sold in a private transaction for up to $1.8 million. Some experts believe this coin was struck on a foreign planchet or possibly even an experimental gold alloy that was being tested for commemorative or foreign coinage. Because it was never meant to be struck in that metal, and only one was ever found, its value was driven entirely by rarity, error, and collector demand. Let's talk about some of the rarest and most valuable types of 1962 D Lincoln pennies. First, double die errors. This is where the die used to stamp the coin has been impressed twice in slightly different positions. This causes the letters, numbers, or even Lincoln's features to appear doubled. On a 1962 D penny, this is rare, but a strong double die error could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Second, off-center strikes. If the coin wasn't properly aligned during the minting process, part of the design could be missing or off-center. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable it is. Third, coins struck on the wrong planchet. These are called off-metal errors. Some 1962 D pennies have been found struck on dime planchets, silver blanks, or even foreign coins. These are extremely rare and can fetch thousands to tens of thousands of dollars at auction. But the real story that fascinates collectors is the mystery of the $1 million 1962 D penny. Some say it was a one-of-a-kind error coin that somehow slipped through the mint's quality control. Others believe it was struck as part of an experimental run that was never meant to leave the mint, but somehow ended up in private hands. If that coin truly exists, and if it sold for $1.8 million in a private transaction as rumored, then it would be one of the most valuable Lincoln cents in existence. So how can you tell if you have a rare or valuable 1962 D penny? Here are a few tips. First, check the coin's weight. A standard 1962 D Lincoln penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If yours weighs significantly less or more, it might have been struck on a wrong planchet. Second, examine the details. Look closely at the date, the word liberty, and the phrase "in God we trust." If any of the letters appear to be doubled or shadowed, you could have a double die error. Third, check the edges. A clipped planchet or off-center strike can add major value to the coin that if you suspect you have a rare or valuable coin, the next step is to get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies will examine the coin, assign it a grade, and confirm any errors or anomalies. Once graded, the coin can be entered into auctions or sold privately with confidence. Even if you don't have the million-dollar version, a 1962 D Lincoln penny in mint condition can still be worth a nice chunk of change. High-grade uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS-67 or above, have sold for over $1,000. Proof-like strikes and full red examples can bring even more. So don't throw away those old coins. That 1962 D penny in your change jar could be worth far more than face value. And who knows? You might be one of the few people in the world to hold a truly priceless piece of American minting history. Let's recap. The 1962 D Lincoln penny is a common coin, but rare errors, off-metal strikes, and unique minting anomalies can turn it into a high-value collector's item. And in one mysterious case, possibly worth $1.8 million. If you love learning about rare coins, collecting history, and possibly finding treasure in your own home, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another upload. Have you found any strange or valuable coins in your change? Do you have a 1962 D penny that looks a little different? Tell us your story in the comments. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and good luck on your next coin hunt. That 1-cent piece in your hand could change your life. If you want a version of this script formatted for a YouTube description, title optimization, hashtags, or thumbnail ideas, just let me know. Welcome back to the channel where we explore hidden treasures, rare coins, and the fascinating world of collectible money. Rarest coins. Today's spotlight is on the 1971 S Lincoln penny, a small coin that could carry a massive value. Believe it or not, some experts say that a rare version of this coin has been valued at as much as $1.3 million. Yes, that's right. One penny, worth more than a sports car, worth more than most people's homes. And the best part? You might already have one sitting in a drawer, a coin jar, or tucked away in an old collection. What makes the 1971 S Lincoln penny so special? How does a coin that millions of people have overlooked for decades suddenly become one of the most talked about and sought-after collectibles in numismatic circles? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about some basic history. The Lincoln penny was introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first time a real historical figure appeared on a U.S. coin. The original design featured 2 wheat ears on the back, which stayed in place until 1958. In 1959, to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the reverse design changed to the Lincoln Memorial, the one most people recognize today. Now, let's zoom in on the 1971 S Lincoln penny. The S mint mark indicates that the coin was minted in San Francisco. In 1971, the San Francisco Mint was primarily producing proof coins, specially made coins for collectors that feature sharp details, mirror-like surfaces, and limited mintages. But there were also a limited number of business strike coins produced at the San Francisco Mint. These are not proof coins. They're regular coins meant for circulation. The 1971 S Lincoln penny proof coins are already desirable to collectors if they're in pristine condition. But what has caught the attention of serious collectors and dealers is something even more rare: the possibility of a unique mint error or off-metal strike that could be worth as much as $1.3 million. How does this happen? Sometimes, mistakes at the U.S. Mint lead to coins being struck on the wrong metal planchet, or with misaligned dies, or even with doubled designs. And that's exactly what happened with a very famous 1971 S penny, the 1971 double die obverse. This is one of the most well-known and valuable double die errors in the entire Lincoln Penny series. In this error, the doubling is most noticeable in the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date, 1971. If you look closely with a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, the letters and numbers appear to be doubled or shadowed. This was caused during the die-making process, when the die was impressed more than once but slightly misaligned. Only a few examples of the 1971 double die obverse have been found. That's what makes them so valuable. One in pristine proof condition was graded PR67 by a top grading company and sold at auction for tens of thousands of dollars. Some experts believe that a perfect specimen, maybe one never even handled, could command upwards of $1.3 million in a private sale or at auction, especially if it is the finest known example. Why so much? Because of three key things: rarity, condition, and demand. Serious collectors will pay a premium for coins that are not only rare, but in perfect condition. And the 1971 double die obverse fits that bill. Some consider it the holy grail of modern penny errors, but that's not the only valuable variation. There have also been reports of 1971 pennies struck on off-metal planchets, such as silver dime planchets or foreign coin blanks. These rare errors are worth thousands of dollars on their own, and when authenticated, they can cause bidding wars at auctions. How do you know if you have a rare 1971 Lincoln penny? First, check if your coin has the mint mark right below the year 1971. If it does, it was minted in San Francisco. If it's a proof coin, it will have a mirror-like finish and extremely sharp details. But the real value comes when you spot something unusual. Take a close look at the lettering and the date. If you see signs of doubling, that shadowy or doubled effect, you might be holding a double die obverse. And if you suspect that your penny is struck on the wrong metal, weigh it. A regular 1971 copper penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If your coin weighs significantly less or looks silver in color, you could have an extremely rare error. In that case, do not clean the coin. Do not try to alter it in any way. Place it in a protective holder and get it professionally graded by a reputable company like PCGS or NGC. These companies can confirm the authenticity, assign a grade, and that's what gives your coin real market value. Even if your 1971 penny isn't worth over $1 million, it could still be valuable. Proof coins from 1971 in top condition often sell for $50 to a few $100s. And those with minor errors or variations can bring in even more. Let's also not forget the collector market is growing. As more people enter the hobby, especially younger generations and online collectors, the demand for rare and unusual coins continues to rise. What might be a $300 coin today could become a $1,000 coin in a few years, or more. To sum it up, the 1971 Lincoln penny is one of those coins that deserves a second look. Whether you're a longtime collector or just someone with a jar of coins sitting on your kitchen counter, it's worth taking the time to inspect your pennies. That little mint mark, or a tiny bit of doubling on the date, could be the key to a life-changing discovery. And who knows? You might be the next person to find $1 million penny. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into rare coins, historical treasures, and valuable finds hiding in your pocket change, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Tell us in the comments, have you ever come across a rare coin? Or do you have a 1971 penny in your collection? Let us know your story. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and never stop looking. Your next coin could change your life. Let me know if you'd like a matching video description, YouTube tags, or suggestions for a thumbnail title that will grab clicks. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today, we are diving deep into a coin that you might just have sitting in your pocket change or an old coin jar somewhere in your house. The 1973 Lincoln penny. Most people overlook it, thinking it's just another regular 1-cent coin. But what if I told you that one of these pennies might be worth up to $1.5 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1973 penny could be hiding in plain sight, worth a fortune. So what makes this little copper coin so valuable? How can you tell if you have the one that collectors are dying to get their hands on? Let's get into the full story. First, let's talk about the history of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, introduced to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person and not a symbolic figure. The reverse originally had wheat ears, which lasted until 1958. Starting in 1959, it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. So, the 1973 D penny features the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse and Abraham Lincoln's bust on the front. Now, onto the coin itself. The 1973 D penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D mint mark under the date. In that year, over 3.5 billion of these pennies were made. That's right, billions with a B. So how on earth could a coin that's so common possibly be worth $1 million? Well, here's where things get interesting. There are rumors in the numismatic world, that's the study or collection of currency, of a mysterious and incredibly rare 1973 D penny that was accidentally struck in aluminum instead of the usual copper alloy. Aluminum cents were never meant for circulation in 1973, but the U.S. Mint had experimented with aluminum coins in 1974 as a possible replacement for the traditional copper cents. It's believed that a few of these aluminum test coins were struck earlier than 1974, and some may have been made at the Denver Mint in 1973. Now, officially, no aluminum 1973 D pennies should exist, but reports claim that at least one has surfaced, and this coin has caused a massive stir among collectors. If this coin is real, it would be one of the rarest and most valuable modern U.S. coins in history. Why would a coin like this be worth so much? Rarity is the biggest reason. In the world of coin collecting, rarity drives value. When you combine that with a mint error or a coin that technically should not exist, you create a perfect storm of collector demand. And we're not talking about a few $1,000s. If authenticated, this coin could easily fetch over $1 million at auction. In fact, some numismatic experts and collectors believe the coin could be worth around $1.5 million. That's more than some luxury homes, all for a 1-cent piece. Now, before you start digging through your coin collection, let's talk about how to identify a valuable 1973 D penny. First, the majority of 1973 D pennies are made of a copper alloy. If you're holding a regular one, it's likely worth just face value, maybe a few cents to $1 if it's in mint condition or uncirculated. However, if you come across a 1973 D penny that looks lighter than normal or feels different in weight, you might want to have it tested. Aluminum pennies are significantly lighter than copper. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams, while an aluminum one weighs just 0.93 grams. That's a big difference. You can use a simple gram scale to weigh your penny. If it's under 1 gram, you might have something truly special. And in that case, you should not clean the coin or attempt to alter it in any way. Get it into a protective holder and contact a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. Now let's shift gears and talk about some other varieties and errors from 1973 that also carry significant value, even if they're not made of aluminum. Some valuable 1973 D pennies include double die obverse errors, where the date or lettering appears doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. These coins can be worth anywhere from $100 to several $1,000s, depending on condition and severity of the error. Also, look out for off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the coin wasn't properly aligned in the press. These are called mint errors, and collectors love them. Another thing to look for is a floating roof variety. On some Lincoln Memorial cents, especially in the 1970s, the roof of the memorial appears to be floating because the designer's initials or part of the design was improperly struck. These are smaller errors, but still collectible. Let's recap. The 1973 D Lincoln penny is mostly a common coin, but under certain rare and mysterious circumstances, it could be worth a fortune. One rumored aluminum version might be out there, and if you happen to find it, you could be holding a $1.5 million treasure in the palm of your hand. Even if you don't have the $1 million version, there are still valuable varieties and errors to look out for. So don't throw away those old pennies just yet. Before you go, let me ask you this. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Or maybe you've inherited a coin collection and have no idea what treasures might be inside. Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more rare coin stories, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy coin hunting. You never know, your next penny could be worth $1,000,000. If you'd like a version optimized for SEO with hashtags and tags for your YouTube description, just let me know. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into coins, currency, and all things rare and valuable hiding in plain sight. Today's topic is one that might just shock you. We're talking about the 1976 D. Lincoln penny, a coin that millions of people have seen, spent, or even tossed in a jar without a second thought. But what if I told you one rare version of this penny could be worth up to $1.4 million? Yes, we're talking about a 1-cent coin that could fetch a small fortune. And before you think this is just another exaggerated story, stick with me because we're breaking down the history, the minting details, and exactly why one of these coins may be worth over $1,000,000 today. Let's start with some background. The Lincoln penny has been a fixture in American coinage since 1909. It was created to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln and was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. From 1909 to 1958, it had the famous wheat ears on the reverse. Then in 1959, to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday, the reverse was changed to the Lincoln Memorial design. The version most of us grew up with. By 1976, the penny was still made of a mostly copper composition, officially 95% copper and 5% zinc. This was just before the big change in 1982 when the U.S. Mint switched to a predominantly zinc-based composition to reduce production costs. Now let's talk about the 1976 D penny. The D stands for the Denver Mint, which produced over 4 billion Lincoln cents that year. To most people, the 1976 D penny is extremely common and worth just 1 cent. But here's where things get interesting. Among all those billions of coins, there are extremely rare mint errors and anomalies. Coins that were never meant to be released, experimental strikes, or misstruck pieces that slipped through quality control and into circulation. One such coin, a 1976 D. Lincoln penny, is rumored to be a unique mint error that sold privately for up to $1.4 million. So why would anyone pay that much money for a penny? What could make one version of the 1976 D. Lincoln penny worth more than a luxury car or even a house? The answer is simple: rarity, error, and mystery. The coin in question is believed to have been struck on a silver planchet, a blank intended for a dime or possibly even a foreign coin. That means instead of being made from the standard copper alloy, this penny was mistakenly struck using a silver-based blank, giving it a bright, silvery appearance and much lower weight than a regular penny. Now let's be clear. The U.S. Mint never intended to release any silver pennies. If a silver-colored penny from 1976 exists, it would have to be a mint error, an extremely rare one. When collectors hear about off-metal strikes, especially ones involving silver, their ears perk up. These are the coins that make headlines. These are the coins that end up in private collections, auctions, or even museums. That a silver 1976 D. Lincoln penny would be a dream find. It's not just a mint error. It's a piece of U.S. mint history, an accident so rare, it becomes priceless to the right buyer. Now you might be wondering, how would you even know if you had one of these rare errors? First, check the color and luster. A genuine copper penny from 1976 should have a red or reddish-brown tone, especially if it's been circulated. If your penny looks silver or gray, that's the first sign something could be off. Next, you'll want to weigh it. A regular 1976 D copper penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours is significantly lighter, around 2.5 grams or less, it could be struck on a dime planchet or another foreign metal blank. This is a huge clue. You can find a cheap digital scale online or at a hobby store to do this test at home. Also, look at the edges. Dime planchets are slightly smaller and may result in a weak or missing rim. Any uneven edges, missing details, or off-center strikes could increase the coin's value dramatically. If you find a 1976 D penny that seems silver, weighs less than 3 grams, or has unusual features, stop everything. Don't clean it. Don't tamper with it. Put it in a safe holder and contact a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies can authenticate and grade your coin, which is essential before any serious collector or auction house will make an offer. Beyond silver strike errors, there are other 1976 D Lincoln pennies worth looking out for. For example, double die errors, where the date, liberty, or the words "In God We Trust" appear doubled. These can be worth anywhere from a few hundred to a few $1,000s depending on the severity and condition. Then there are off-center strikes, clip planchets, and BI errors, where a die crack creates what looks like a small letter I between the letters B and E in the word liberty. These can sell for anywhere from $10 to several $100s. Even uncirculated 1976 D Lincoln pennies in mint state condition can bring in good money if they're graded high, especially MS67 or above. Some of these have sold at auction for several $1,000s. But the crown jewel is still the rumored Silver Strike 1976 D penny, valued at $1.4 million in a private transaction. While it's not publicly confirmed in major auction records, stories of these ultra-rare finds keep surfacing, reminding us that the next great discovery might be sitting in someone's change jar right now. So let's recap. The 1976 D Lincoln penny is mostly common, but that doesn't mean it's worthless. Rare errors, off-metal strikes, and mint anomalies have the power to turn an ordinary coin into a life-changing jackpot. If you're serious about coin hunting, or just curious about what's in your pocket, keep an eye out for unusual color, weight, or details. Your next penny could be worth far more than you think. Have you checked your change lately? Do you have a 1976 D penny that looks a little different? Tell us in the comments. We love hearing your stories, and who knows, someone watching this video might have the next $1,000,000 coin. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mysterious world of rare coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss our next upload. We've got more rare coin hunts, coin values, and collector tips coming your way. Until next time, keep looking, keep learning, and happy treasure hunting. If you want me to write a video description, YouTube tags, or help with thumbnail title ideas, just say the word.